It's finally here.
Today we launched the Zimbabwe Learning Passport. My name is Nyasha K. Mutizwa, a communication specialist with UNICEF Zimbabwe.
And I'm Dominic Muntanga, an education specialist here at UNICEF Zimbabwe.
And today we launch an amazing platform, and we are calling it the Zimbabwe Learning Passport. Tell us a little bit more about it, Dominic.
Now, the Zimbabwe Learning Passport is an online and digital platform that has a collection of amazing resources for learning both at home and for reading for your leisure.
So how do we access it, Dominic?
You can access it, Nyasha, by going on to mopszw.learningpassport.unicef.org. You just type in that on the website and you'll be in the Learning Passport.
This sounds like a very exciting and timely initiative. I'm interested to know a little bit about its development.
What has happened to get us to this point today is that Microsoft, the University of Cambridge, and UNICEF globally came together and put their resources so that they can provide access to learning opportunities for young people in this country. And we are here today launching this exciting platform through the partnership of the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education and UNICEF in Zimbabwe.
So why don't we actually hear from some of our partners? We're going to start with the Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, Honorable Kane G. Matema, and then
we'll get to our Minister of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, Honorable Jenfan Muswere.
The vision for the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education is for ICTs to be effectively and efficiently used through the education sector, enabling all learners to achieve their full potential and become productive and responsible citizens. The ministry is committed to the use of ICT as an enabler for education in order to create, promote, and sustain the development of a knowledgeable, innovative, and creative society, which ultimately supports the national agenda of attaining a knowledge-based society. This can only be achieved by providing 1. Smart solutions through smart education anchored on strong foundation of policy. 2. Regulation. 3. Secure infrastructure. 4. Partnerships. 5. Skills. 6. Capacity building and content development, as evidenced by the introduction of the Learning Passport platform. This initiative is meant to buttress long-term sustainability in education by making sure that no learner is left behind, especially during the COVID-19 lockdown era. The provision of ICTs is premised on 4 key domains, which are 1. Technical infrastructure, here presented by the Learning Passport platform. 2. E-resources which will be accessed by teachers and learners on the platform. 3. Teacher capacity. The ministry is in the process of training teachers in ICT in collaboration with our partners. 4. Sustainability. This is the sustainability of infrastructure, e-resources, and capacitated teachers. The Learning Passport platform is an online platform providing free education resources impacting a whole generation of learners in Zimbabwe who could be left behind with schools being closed and access to learning disrupted. It provides e-material in line with the competence-based Zimbabwean curriculum context. Its affordances are that it provides self-paced, open distance learning at any time from anywhere across the country, ensuring that no learner is left behind. Ladies and gentlemen, these interventions will contribute to government's drive to become a sustainable digital middle-income economy by 2030. Once again, a big thank you to UNICEF, Microsoft, and ministry staff for developing Learning Passport platform. Ngiyalibonga, dinokutendai, asante sana.
It gives me great pleasure to address you on the launch of the Learning Passport Zimbabwe, made possible by the government of Zimbabwe, UNICEF, and its partners. Achieving an information-driven society and a knowledge-based economy is one of the main priorities of the government of Zimbabwe in terms of attaining our sustainable development goals and in terms of the objectives of an industrialized middle-income country as espoused in the Zimbabwe's Vision 2030. As the Minister of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, our main area of focus in terms of the National Development Strategy #1 is focus on access, is to focus on utilization, is to focus on governance, and lastly, to focus on industry growth. In terms of the Smart Zimbabwe 2030 Master Plan, we have a number of pillars that we are taking into consideration in order to ensure that we have a knowledge-based society with ubiquitous connectivity. We have smart agriculture, smart mining, smart health, and in particular, smart education. With smart education, we're developing various platforms which include the Learning Passport Zimbabwe platform. This platform will ensure that we fulfill our objective of bridging the rural-urban divide through the utilization of information communication technology. This particular platform will ensure that pupils and students can interact with their teachers and their instructors through the use of the information communication technology platform. Through the same platform, the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education is now loading the content, which includes the syllabuses, the examinations, and the various courses, so that pupils and students can have access within the comfort of their homes to study, to learn, to interact with their teachers, to have their class examinations examined, tested, marked by the instructors and the teachers, I think.
UNICEF promotes quality learning for every child, but the negative impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic is overwhelming, with long-term implications for children's learning, safety, health, and well-being. This is why the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, Microsoft, the University of Cambridge, and UNICEF have come together to launch the Learning Passport in Zimbabwe. The Learning Passport will improve the education of millions of children and young people. The Learning Passport is a digital platform with a library of teaching and learning resources covering the entire primary and secondary education curriculum, as well as teaching training materials. It opens up opportunities for online learning for children in and out of school. Parents, caregivers, and teachers can select the material that meets the level of knowledge and interest of their children. Children can learn at their own pace and complement their learning at school.
With my Learning Passport, I am now able to learn at home as I study to pursue my dreams of becoming a doctor.
Find out more and start your journey with the Learning Passport.
Well, thanks to both honorable ministers for those words. You know, Dominic, it's encouraging to hear that education is a high priority in Zimbabwe. And whilst we're on that, how much does this passport cost?
The great news is that you don't have to pay for any of the resources that are found on the Zimbabwe Learning Passport. However, we know that data costs money. So we are at the moment trying to engage the ministries of ICT and other government partners and telecommunications companies so that they can zero rate the data. This means that you're going to be able to get online onto this website without having to pay for data services. This is one of the key things that UNICEF is doing at a global level to try and advocate for increased access to education for all children across the globe.
And speaking of global, why don't we hear from someone all the way in New York City? Her name is Henrietta Fore, and she is UNICEF's Executive Director and is a staunch advocate for developing access to education for all children.
We are now in the second year of COVID-19 pandemic. Nearly every aspect of children's lives has been affected, including their education. Education is an essential part of children's lives, not only for the development of the skills that they will need for the future, but for their social development, safety, and health. After almost a full year of school closures, 4.5 million learners in Zimbabwe have had their learning disrupted. But today, we're doing something about it. UNICEF is joining forces with the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education to launch the Learning Passport, a platform developed in collaboration with Microsoft and UNICEF. The Learning Passport provides access to quality education for millions of children worldwide. It offers simple, easy, and fun ways to learn through tailor-made programs with customizable language options. With online, offline, and mobile learning options, it can reach the most vulnerable learners. It's already being used in Timor-Leste, Puntland, Somalia, Kosovo, and Honduras. In Zimbabwe, we want to reach 300,000 learners this year. The Learning Passport is a great example of what we can achieve by working in partnership with the government of Zimbabwe as it pursues its national development strategy, and with innovative companies like Microsoft. So today, let's celebrate the launch of the Learning Passport in Zimbabwe so that every child can access world-class digital learning and continue building the future that they deserve.
Those were some inspiring words from the UNICEF Global Executive Director, Henrietta Fore. And there's something she mentioned about it being easy to operate the Zimbabwe Learning Passport. Can you tell us a bit more, Dominic?
It's so incredibly easy to operate. In fact, the first thing that you have to do, obviously, is to get on the website. You do that by typing on your website mopszw.learningpassport.unicef.org. And once you are on the website, you can go there, you can read materials such as storybooks, you can watch videos of stories, you can also listen to a lot of materials that have been made available to all of us for free. And I encourage all young people in Zimbabwe to get on the website and have access to all of these incredible materials. I also encourage parents to actually read books or watch books together with their children.
Well, there is a young person that actually agrees with you, the Zimbabwe junior president. Let's hear now from His Excellency Mukudzeishe Madzivire.
The Learning Passport is an opportunity for all primary and secondary education students in the country to access various resources on the internet free of charge. These resources include videos, games, and various documents that explain every single topic in existence for every single curriculum that you can possibly think of.
So you heard it there, a student telling you just how simple it is to access the Learning Passport, Dominic.
It's so simple to access, Nyasha, and this is why we are encouraging all young people and their parents to get online and use the Zimbabwe Learning Passport. We as UNICEF are very committed to promoting and protecting the right to education. This is why we've come together with our partners so that we can make sure that all the digital learning resources are available to young people throughout Zimbabwe.
Absolutely. And our country representative agrees with you, Dominic. Let's hear from her. In fact, this is Leili Moshiri, the UNICEF Zimbabwe country representative.
On behalf of UNICEF Zimbabwe, I'm very excited to be part of the launch of the Learning Passport, an initiative we've all been eagerly awaiting. As you've been hearing about today on the airwaves, The Learning Passport is a global collaboration between Microsoft and UNICEF. This online platform addresses the challenges faced by children and youth to access continued quality education, particularly during times of crises. As we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic has created the largest disruption of education systems in history, affecting nearly 1.6 billion learners across the world. In Zimbabwe, the pandemic and consequent school closures resulted in almost an entire year of learning lost for more than 4.5 million children and young people across the country. This new digital remote learning platform provides a solution by creating a country-level curriculum that helps children in Zimbabwe to continue with their education at home. In Zimbabwe, the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education and UNICEF have launched the Zimbabwe version of the Learning Passport to promote continuity of learning during this period and beyond. Children, young people, and teachers can access the platform at no cost or subscription fees, and there's an offline version that can run when there is no internet connectivity. It contains a rich digital library of teaching and learning resources from the national curriculum, as well as open education resources from a wide range of partners mapped to complement the local curriculum. There's also the Learning Passport Zimbabwe mobile app in development to ensure easy and wider access as well as offline use of the platform. We're engaging telecommunications companies to zero-rate the Learning Passport in Zimbabwe, making it free for users, and meaning the cost of data, which we know is also a barrier, will not prevent most marginalized children accessing the platform. It's worth pointing out that the Learning Passport is part of a range of remote solutions to learning. Here in Zimbabwe, we've seen innovative approaches in support of education continuity. These include the development of radio and television lessons for early childhood development, primary and secondary education, and take-home packages such as children's storybooks and the psychosocial materials with parental guidance notes developed by the government. Distance learning solutions were also developed thanks to quick responses by the ministry. All these were possible with support from many partners, such as the Global Partnership for Education, Education Cannot Wait, Germany's KfW, and UK Aid, who provided the generous resources needed towards our education programs. For us, the Learning Passport has demonstrated the power of strong partnerships to put world-class digital learning solutions in the hands of all the children of Zimbabwe. The government of Zimbabwe, UNICEF, Microsoft,